goings, Jai, that Aussie metal guy. He was Crank, and with that metal station out of the US. And today I'm having a chat with Terrorential, Sydney metalers who recently released their debut album, Visions, March 15th. How you going, guys? We got Triz and Larry.
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. This is a cracking album, dude. I played a track the other week on my show. I think I can't remember which track it was, but Michael sent me over a track, chucked it in. It was a killer track, man. I was blown away with the kind of sound. How would you describe the sound that you're going for, man?
Wow, man, I don't know. A lot of influences,
Yeah, a lot of influences,
man. Yeah.
I'm picking up the death and thrash metal. I was going to say, you have these death and thrash elements to it, and I'm going to steal a line off your bio over there on Bandcamp to kind of forge your own steel, you know what I mean? You listen to it and you go, oh, yeah, it's got those thrash elements, but then when the vocals kick in of you, Larry, it kind of has those death metal to it as well, dude. You can pick up all these different... So can you quickly tell us a couple of your influences then, man? Like band-wise?
Well, early on, it started off... Well, early on, I started with Metallica, Pantera, when the kids, and all that sort of stuff. And, when you're like 15 and you hear something like, Pantera, you're like, fuck, that's heavy. But then you hear Sepultura or something, you're like, fuck, that's even heavier. And it just got heavier and heavier. And we just didn't want to we want to play stuff like Metallica, but we don't want to just play that. We want to put other stuff in there too. So it'd be like, how about if we do something like, say, I don't know, something like a Ride the Lightning song, but with a black metal vocals on top or something like that, So we just went from there and just kept going and it took a few years to actually find the sound that we were happy with.
Yeah, well, you guys knew each other in high school, I think, by what I'm reading.
Yeah.
Formed in high school. It would be a lot. And what was that experience like? You've gone to high school now. The band's actually kind of fucking really getting serious. And I suppose in high school you had these visions of like, man, we're going to be, you know what I mean? And you realise the work it's taken to culminate to where you are now.
Yeah. Well, he's 2 years younger than me. So I was in year 11 when he came to school. And then we just slowly, like lunchtime, you'd go grab a guitar from the music room and go downstairs and start playing guitar and whatnot. Then he'd pop over and, can you play this? And and then, we'd go upstairs and jam.
Yeah, throwing the drums. And then I'm like, okay, going somewhere, play some covers, loving this. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and then after I left school, he was still there. So we kind of really didn't get anything done. And then after a while, we just decided, let's just start jamming. And we just started jamming at his place. Just guitar and drums for a lot of years. Yeah. Just practicing, playing cover after cover, doing this, doing that, and then we started to just go, let's just start doing gigs and let's put a band together. Which I wasn't really good at because I'm not at the time. I wasn't good at just talking to people.
I know what that's like.
So
Yeah, I still have that trouble, mate. It's all good. It doesn't matter how much you talk to people. Sometimes that awkwardness just doesn't fuck off anywhere. And you were chatting about those death metal elements, man. Like fucking before you know it, I was the same. I started on probably the same age roundabout as you guys. And you start off as that fucking thrash metal and your Metallicas and your Megadeths. And before you know it, you're cranking the most brutal death metal stuff when you first heard. You're like, when I first started getting into metal, some of the real death metal stuff, I go, oh fuck, man, that's full on. Now I'm like, that's like cranking shit that's just way more brutal than the stuff I was going, oh.
Yeah.
When did you kind of fucking get serious about this? When did you were like going, okay, we've got our fucking enough material and we really want to get a solid lineup here? Because I noticed you had a few lineup changes and now you've kind of got a solid lineup together and you're going, fuck, we're going to hit this studio. Kind of when did you start getting serious about all that? Can you tell me a little bit about that process?
Well, we started around, 2010, we started our first gig when we had like somewhat of a lineup. And then probably maybe about down 2014, I think we just started to go, we got to start writing better shit, more heavier, try to get it more solid and try to, around then, I think.
Yeah.
2014.
But it was tough to find people on the same page as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very tough. Yeah.
Usually, on commitments and stuff, everyone's like, on and off. So like trying to get that solid lineup. It took a while, but it was worth it in the end. Obviously, we're pretty proud of where we're at now. So
yeah. Sorry, I'm just in a warehouse at the moment, so I gotta keep an eye on a truck coming for delivery.
Oh, no, kill it, man. Kill it. We won't try too
Work
much.
hard,
Man. Kill it, man. That's awesome. So can you tell me about the visions? When did you start the songwriting for this? Were these some tracks you've been working
Okay.
towards? Yeah.
Oh, visions, like Logical Terror, Visions, Dream Escape, and I'm fucking drunk, were written around between 17 years when I was 17. But they didn't sound how they sound now, obviously. When Travis joined the band, he just added this element of guitar that just kicked fucking ass. And it was awesome. But yeah, like Visions was written around 17 and stuff. Like I just 17, 18, something like that, I think it was, or something like that. But and then I just held on. The lyrics not so much, but mainly the riff, the actual riffs and stuff. And I just held on to them. I'm like, one day I might release this, and then it just kept going from there. I just added on top of the riffs and this, and then it was getting really good, and then Trav joined in and just finished it off. And I guess once our bass player left and we had trouble finding another bass player, I was just like, because I wanted to find a bass player to do, like, just to do bass work. I didn't want to have to tell him what to do. Yeah. But in the end, I was like, fuck, well, no one gets what I'm trying to say, so I'll fucking do it myself. And
it'd be hard too. You had this vision as well, and something you've held on to for so long. You kind of, I suppose, you want a bassist to come in and kind of do those bits as well, have thoughts and ideas working towards the band as well. You just want to be guys that are all keying off each other as well with ideas and everything.
I guess that's why it worked the way it's working now with the album, the way it sounds, because some of those songs were written when I was just a teenager. Yeah. And some of them were written when I was more mature. So that's why you've got to have like a changed sounding element, I guess you could say. Whereas the next, like, we've started to write some new stuff, and it's more solid of like, this is, I'm not saying it's like just one sound the whole way through. No,
I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. So I've spoken to a few artists that have brought out albums, and they're going, this is material I've had for a lot of years, and I've been working. He said that they've told me that it's been good to get it out. It was cathartic because a lot of that was from the past, because it's good they can work on new stuff now.
Just had to get it done. Just had to get it down. It's like, that's it. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's nostalgic and shit like that. So
and it's like, I finally got it out onto the album. It would have been good to finally get that recording and production and finally get it onto an album and not have to keep going over them for the last 17 years. It's like, that's there now, and that was from then, and I can kind of go build another great album another fucking year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was recording and production like? Where did you work? When did you record this? Who did you work with?
Oh, okay.
I've done my drums first at Free Fall Studios with Adric. So that was 4 days or something, just get the drum tracks out with these backups from my headphones. So that was fucking solid days. I couldn't walk properly after that. But once that was done, that was it. It was up to the boys now to lay their tracks on. And we've had those few hiccups here with studios closing down, the COVID period and everything. So
and just work in general as well, like having to find the time to record, but to keep your job as well. And all that sort of stuff. So
exactly. And when you're going to put the album out as well, trying to time that you want to drop an album out, and you also want to play live, because a lot of bands in the Australian scene, the underground scene, survive on playing live.
Yeah, I mean, it took a while, but I mean, the guy that we worked with, Adric, from Speed Justice recording, is he was really like laid back, so he wasn't like, oh, you got to do this, hurry up, blah, blah, blah. He was just like, whenever you're ready, not push us, and it was fun to work with. He knew how to get out a good sound. Like what I had in my head, he was like, nah, that sounds shit. do it like this instead, try this or try that. I'm like, oh, that sounds way
Yeah.
So it was fun to work with him. Yeah, the whole studio experience too, you know, being in a room, having him on the other side and whatnot. And yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it kind of gives you an idea too of what next time when he's going to the studio, because he's would have been working
totally. Yeah, next time we go in, how to get prepared. All right, this way we do this.
We learned a lot, man.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from
Rather
that.
than just working and go, I'm gonna record a guitar solo, and then fucking 2 hours later, you're like, oh no,
Scrap the whole
scrap it, do something else.
Countless times. Is it good? Yeah, it's good. It's back.
Yeah,
shit. Do it again.
Call him back after 2 weeks. Go, man. Can we do it again? Fucking horrible.
Yeah, we're our own worst critics sometimes, aren't we?
Yeah. 100%.
Are you able to start playing live? Have you got anything set for playing live up there? I know some shows.
We've done a couple of shows last month. We've done 2 gigs coming back. So
nice.
It is a bit weird though with the whole COVID situation. I was sitting down and limited numbers, but they've been good. They've been fun gigs. You know, it's good to shake off the cobwebs. We 1 year off. Like we were pretty constant gigging, and it was fun. Like that was And then having that year off, it was like, didn't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah, I never started doing a gig again. The simple things like fucking get there early because it's parking. You know, just forget all that even stuff like that. You get there and like, oh, that's right. I gotta load in. Shit, should have got here earlier. Told you.
Yeah, man. It'd be fun though to kind of get this material out and playing it live, because that's a big part of kind of dropping an album too in this scene. Like to play live is where you sell your merch and that as well. People might come in not necessarily for a gig and then see you guys go, fuck, I've got to go buy an album and go talk to you lads behind the merch stand.
We will be selling the albums and stuff when we start playing live, and we'll get shirts and stuff like that. So we're getting them done very, very soon. But yeah, I mean, the good thing about having this album drop now is what I found out is every time we released something, people would know the songs, and the more they know the song, the more they enjoy watching the live band. I mean, I've gone to gigs and, you know, I'll watch a band I've never heard before and I'm like, oh, they're mad. You know, that's fucking awesome. But then I buy the CD or something, go home and I'm like, oh, next time I go, no, I know that this is going to be like a whoa bit. You know?
Yeah, I'm the same. I always take extra money whenever I go to gigs as well. I'm not a big drinker, but I'll always hit the fucking merch stand, and that's the biggest taker of my money. And I'll always try and buy a CD from each of the bands or shirts, and, you know, because it's the best way to get along and support the scene and keep it strong.
Definitely.
Those Spotify listens. Which is good to get.
The physical copy, man.
Yeah, grab the physical copies, man. You can head over to Bandcamp, grab them off Terrorential, man. It's probably the best place to go. Get the merch. We'll get along to the gigs, man. Don't miss shows. There's no excuses. Lads, did you want to pick a track off the album each for me to crank up on the show with this interview?
Terrorential, or you reckon? What's one they haven't Flood done all them?
Yeah, I guess.
Terrorential because that's.
Terrorential?
Yeah, okay, if you want.
Terrorential?
Yeah, I love a long track, man. Don't you worry, bro. I fucking go. I play 10-minute tracks. I'm not shy, dude. Chuck it in there. I don't give a shit about the time or anyone. We're independent, man. We're fucking legends at that point. Cool. And what one did you? Another one? Chuck in another one, man. We'll get 2 on there, dude.
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe. I think I'm fucking drunk's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. It's fun, man.
Different
and 2 different contrasts. Yes.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. This has been an absolute pleasure. Last word, shout outs. Thank you, man. Anything I may have forgotten, fucking now's the time.
Michael Metalroos for getting this scheduled. That was cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Adric, good work.
Everyone that's been around. I know I'll remember later and I'll be like, I feel like a rude cut now.
That's it. Everyone is
all the fans, man. Yeah, for sure, man.
I'm kind of nervous and a bit sweating here. So.
Hey, you're right, man. Killer shirt too. I noticed him on a mask straight away. It's like, fuck yeah, dude. That's killer, man. Terrorential, this has been an absolute pleasure. Everyone grab the Visions album. Came out March 15th. Fucking put it in your stereos. Turn it up really loud. Neighbours are going to want to hear it too. Cheers, guys.
Sure,
Fuck yeah,
man.
man.
Thank you,
Cheers,
legend.
man.
Legend.